Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back. It's Paula with Paula's Imperfect Plans, and I am back with another video. Here on my channel, we do all things of our personal finance, which is a combination of cash and digital budgeting, savings challenges, sinking funds, debt payment, and actual real budgeting of where our money goes. So typically, I am filming this. Normally I should be filming my weekly check-in, but I really didn't have any non-cash spending. And I'm preparing to leave town tomorrow night. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in and film my budget closeout a day early so we can go ahead and jump in. Just a little bit of background. My husband and I are both employed full-time. So we are a two-income household. We are a family of 5. We live in rural Iowa, for what that is worth to anyone. So our pay was exactly as expected. We've got that at least until something changes. We have a pretty consistent idea of what our wages are. And we didn't have much for additional income or additional things in here. So our roundups. So if you've watched any of our or any of my spending tracking, I round up when I put cash back in to cover non-cash expenses. So the last one was $494.11 was the expenses, and I put in $496. So my roundups was $189. That just goes back into my budget. And then here I have an other. So I ended up rolling over $30 in cash from our car wash envelope and put that back in the bank. Okay, so to add up our income, we are looking at, we have here $2902.11 is the total income that we're working with. So if we come down now to our fixed expenses, we put half of our internet bill aside with each paycheck, or we put $35 aside for the first paycheck, and then we pay what's left with the second paycheck. $80 donation was made. My REC bill, which is my electric. We live, I feel like this is kind of high, but it's the only option we have for electric here. It's not terrible. Okay, so $327.32 was the actual bill for that. The life insurance premium was $131. Amazon Prime was $748. Disney Plus, did we end up? I didn't do Disney Plus. I got mad. My kids watch too much TV, and I said, if you're not watching Disney Plus, forget it. So I got rid of that, and I kept Netflix, and so that's where we are. We have XM radio on 2 different vehicles, and one we pay I deleted it. It's $360 for one and $534 for the other, I think. So $894 is the total kind of promotional price for both of my husband's vehicles. $741 is our HP Instant Ink. I do Kindle Unlimited for $12.83 a month. Our Netflix was $8.55. Whoops. Switched those, guys. Okay, and then my kids' insurance, we have Hawkeye, which is Healthy and Well Kids Iowa. If you are from Iowa, I don't know if any other states have anything similar, but it's not Medicaid because we're not income eligible for Medicaid. It's considered private insurance. It's a higher income limit than that. Like I said, I think the person always talks about is a family of 4 can make up to $97,000, I think, and still have their kids qualify for Hawkeye, but it is kids only, so it is not anything adults are eligible for. So my husband and I have insurance through our respective employers, and it's then your income depends on whether you have a $0 a month premium, a $10 a month premium, 20, 30, or 40 per kid per month. But it's also a max of $40 per family per month. So we're at the $40 per family. So we're sort of on the top end of being income eligible for the program. And then school lunches. This threw me a whole curveball. had to get after my kid. I don't pay attention, but they have like a la carte options once you hit 3rd grade where you can buy sometimes it's just junk, but it's like $1 a thing and he'll get a few. And I'm like, we talked about this certain days. I'm like, I'm looking at this bill and I know that you got more than, but they used to pull it every 2 weeks, but it just kind of depends, right? They get busy. Holidays, school day off, that kind of thing. And so sometimes it's a little bit longer than 2 weeks and sometimes it's a little bit less than 2 weeks. So I think it was just a longer period of time. But anyway, and then this amount came up before like my Raise Right credit that goes back to my account. So I just paid it, the $152.05, and I'll get the credit with the one that I'll pay here with this upcoming check on the 18th. So fixed expenses. Can you see that? Okay, we have hit enter too soon. If that math is correct, then our cost here was $810.58. If we subtract that from the $2902.11 that we started with, we are left with $2,091.53. So we're going to bring $2,091.53. We're going to bring that down. Sorry, I set up I'm going to flash over quick. It didn't work. That's my laptop. I can't show you what I wanted to show you. So we'll just ignore that happened. Okay. Variable expenses. We have, this is another one where I didn't do it. Okay. We pulled $280 for groceries. We pulled out $40 for drinks. We pulled out $140 in spending. That's $70 for my husband and $70 for myself. $100 for dine out. Nothing for car wash. $18 for my kids' allowance envelopes. $20 for work meals. $15.11 was the order that I had for my face wash and moisturizer. The co-op bill, which is diesel fuel for my husband's truck whenever that needs filled, was $73.28. And then we put $100 with a 29-cent convenience fee on our Quick Star gas card, which covers our gas. Just kidding. There was also a medical expense of $29.31. I kind of forgot that I did that. So plus $29.31, which we did that. It was a prescription. And so we did pay that, cash flow that. $815.99 then was our variable expense total. And if I subtract that from the $2,091.53 that we had when we entered the variable section, we are left with $1,275.54 to budget. So let's pop on up to our sinking funds and we'll plug in this $1,275.54. Okay, and so then when we look at our sinking funds, I budget from the Save 2025 and 2025, and we put $75 with this check into that, right into our emergency fund in the high yield savings account, $100 into our vacation fund, $20 for propane for winter heating, $40 in cash went into Christmas savings challenges, nothing went directly into vehicles, $50 went into the kids sinking fund, $100 or $160 into daycare, saving up for daycare for the summer. Into the medical sinking fund, we put $90. $8 went there, $5 went there, nothing into registration, $300 into vehicle and homeowners insurance, which the premium that is due next month. I still haven't gotten the homeowners insurance bill. I feel like I should have it by now, but nothing into a sinking fund for gas, home, or pets because I'm doing those with savings challenges. So $50 actually went to the savings challenge binder for vehicles, homes, and pets. This is really messy. And then Yeah, savings challenges, our other savings challenges would have been ooh, I messed that up. That's what I get for not looking at my spreadsheet while I'm doing this. Okay, so 212 was our savings challenges. And then we have another, I'm gonna do it correctly. And I'm gonna back up here for a second. So when I said that our medical amount, goodness sakes, was $29.31, that's what I was planning on because I knew that we had that out-of-pocket medical expense. But then, so I think I've shared that my husband is looking at having surgery, but the point of that is that we don't typically have a lot of medical expenses other than ongoing prescriptions. But he had several, I think he had an ultrasound, a CT scan, an x-ray, and a few other things. And so the out-of-pocket bills are starting to come. And once I'm sure that they've gone through both of his, he has an original, a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, and then a partial self-funded thing, however that works. Anyway, there's two different things that make payments. And I've been trying to just cash flow the smaller ones as those come out and save when I'm saving the larger amounts toward the medical sinking fund to go towards when he does have surgery. Those will be large chunks of money at a time that we'll need paid. So in conclusion, $29.31 plus we owed the radiologist for one of the radiology for them reading something was, so we have $29.31 for the prescription and then $9.58 I had to pay to the radiologist for the reading of one of his tests. So that was $38.89 total in medical. So I'm going to come back and do the math here then on what our total variable was. Okay, so the variable total was actually what was it before? That's not right because it was less than it was. So I added something wrong. Okay. $38.89 for medical, 129 cents for gas, 73.28, 15.11, 20, 18, 100, 140, 40, and 280 is, I might have been wrong. Okay, was $825.57. So if I subtract that, 2091 and 53 cents minus 825.57 equals 1265.96. So then I will carry 1265.96 up here. Okay, so that then our math should be correct. For that, now I will add up the sinking funds. 20, 40, 50, 160, 98, 5, 300, 212, and 50 is $1,110. So exactly what we budgeted. So if I subtract that from 1265.96, we are left then with $155.96. Then we make our way down to our final category, which is debt. And that is what we did. So the $30 that I brought back in mainly went to debt, but part of that did go to cover this extra out-of-pocket $9.58 medical cost. The rest of it went to debt. So we made a $155.96 additional additional debt payment, which leaves us with a zero-based budget. So I will move my laptop and I will show you what I wanted to show you. So I talked a while ago, random for anyone who doesn't want to be here anymore. So I had seen that people were getting these like pink, mini toolboxes and using them for supplies in the planner community. And so I'm married to a mechanic and we have a very lovely, very expensive toolbox in our garage. But anyway, so I was telling him about it and how I thought they were cute, but pink really isn't so much my favorite color. And so then I just kind of let it lie. I'm like, that's silly. Like, I have all these other things that I can put my stuff in. And he took a trip a couple weekends ago to get a bunch of stuff for the farm and whatever else he needed at whatever, tool store he was at. I'm not even sure. And he messaged me. He's like, red, blue, or black. Like, don't ask for what, just red, blue, or black. And of the three, I was like, black. And he brought me a toolbox, which I think is kind of fun, if you've seen it. So I've got all of my, like, clips and stuff in there. I don't have it. I have, like, my dice and just a bunch of stuff I use pretty regularly in this bottom one. And I just now realized, actually, that opens too, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to put in the top there, but that's my fun little showing. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Appreciate you all being here. Bye.